important is the significance of this day today, besides the reading from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, one of the things that we will be doing is celebrating the passing of a very exalted Vaishnava, Aprakrita Prabhu. It came as a great surprise to all of us to hear that yesterday Aprakrita passed away. He just had moved from his residence in a part of Montreal to a special retirement facilities where his sister had been living. And this was next to a temple of Lord Buddha. And I was corresponding with him practically on a daily basis in French about this event and the tremendous difficulty in this whole move. But he was surprisingly always focused on Srila Prabhupada and his preaching mission. For those of you who may have known Aprakrita, he had been initiated by Srila Prabhupada in the early 1970s in Montreal. And after the passing away of Srila Prabhupada in 1977, and the various changes which took place in the society, he took it upon himself to preach in French and distribute books in French through various media, through lectures, through his preaching programs, eventually developing a newsletter, even developing a website and a YouTube program where he would explain short clips of the meaning of Krishna consciousness in French. He also had a japa session called Japa du Midi, or Japa at noon, where he would chant japa with the devotees for a few minutes, very briefly, with a very brief explanation. I went on there a few times with him, very, very blissful. Aprakrita was very close. He was also very close to Nandikeshwar Prabhu and his family. And he would organize every year a small Ratha Yatra in Montreal called a mini Ratha Yatra. He would get permission from the city of Montreal to do this in the park. And oh, wonderful, Venkat Bhatta Prabhu, thank you so much. This is the picture of him with the hat on, and he's bringing the Ratha Yatra cart through the park, along with many devotees that were very supportive of his activities. Here we go. And he has Lord Jagannath and Srila Prabhupada on the cart. He is there with his bag, and a devotee holding an umbrella. Very, very nice. Here in the third picture below, we see that Aprakrita is doing a special abhishek for Srila Prabhupada on a very, very special occasion. For those of you who may not know, I had the chance to live with Aprakrita in his small apartment in Montreal. In 2008, my father at the time in Quebec City was dying, and I had to go to Aprakrita for 1 or 2 days before driving to Quebec City. And what happened is Aprakrita, I did not realize this till I was living in his place. He was such an amazing devotee that at 2:30 in the morning, he would get up, take a quick bath, and start chanting. And he would chant straight 25 rounds. He was not on the 16 level. He was at the 25 solid rounds. And these not rounds like that were spaced out. You're very audible, very blissful. He would cook. He would purchase all of his own ingredients, boga, do his own cooking, arrange to offer the boga to his little deities. He had little Gaurnitai deities, nice Prabhupada deities. He was quite an exceptional devotee. So next, we have a picture, after this picture of Aprakrita worshiping Srila Prabhupada, with a young girl. I do not know who this is.
It's his daughter.
His daughter. Like. Oh, very wonderful. Wonderful. And then I believe is that his daughter,
wife.
His wife, okay. And this is brother. Oh, Rathayatra from India. Very
Yes.
nice. Good. Aprakrita used to visit Montreal, not Montreal, but South India. He would go to South India. He stayed several times at the ISKCON Bangalore temple, and he would visit with Rathayatra Prabhu at certain holy places in South India. He was very dedicated to these sacred tirthas. And next we have Aprakrita, another devotee on the bench. I don't know who this is. He's got this beautiful
Doing
bag
some
called,
Sankirtan.
yes, doing some Samkirtan in the park. It is very, very, very nice and enlivening. He was always busy. For those of you who may not know, I have a whole archive of newsletters that I've received from Aprakrita all the way back to 2008. Every single day, he would send me these documents. He would publish this newsletter both in French and English because he was preaching to people in Quebec as well as people in Switzerland and Europe, in France and Europe. So then, any other pictures here? Oh, yes.
Yeah, I think that might be his brother, who's also an initiated disciple of Srila Prabhupada.
Yes.
He joined in
Yes.
1973 when I was there, and he got initiated during that time of our stay
Yes.
in Montreal. So it's his brother,
Yeah.
but does anyone know his brother's name? It evades me.
I don't know.
Okay, thank you. Sorry.
So I met this brother when I visited there with Aprakrita for 2 days in 2008 in Montreal. I met with his brother and we had long discussions about Prabhupada and his teachings, and especially over this issue of the importance of maintaining the originality of Srila Prabhupada's books. Aprakrita was a major proponent of this issue, even with the French Bhagavad Gita. He was distributing French Bhagavad Gitas all the time. And every year with Nandikeshwar Prabhu, who would come to this mini Rathayatra in Montreal in some park, they would hold a beautiful Samkirtan, and many devotees would come to this little Rathayatra. Sometimes a crowd of 30, 35, 40 devotees would come, all, followers of Srila Prabhupada. And his brother was there. There was another devotee named Bhakta Berg, B-E-R-G, who also was very supportive of Aprakrita in Montreal. And he had a group of devotees. He started a group called Amida Krishna, Friends of Krishna, which was basically reaching out to different adults and people living outside, people with work jobs and everything, and keeping them enlivened when all kinds of news. I mean, I literally have hundreds, if not thousands, of these. I've kept every one of them in my archives of Aprakrita with his preaching. Every single day, he would pick a specific topic from Prabhupada's books, and he would take a purport or a letter or a conversation and present that topic, whether it was about Krishna, Lord Chaitanya, you're not the body, Lord Chaitanya is the incarnation of Krishna. Every single day, there would be a different topics, and it would be brief, but very catchy. He would have a beautiful picture that he would put together from the internet or whatever, and then he would put that quote from Srila Prabhupada, and there would be a different topic every single day, constantly. I mean, this went on till literally 2 days ago. I mean, he was just remarkably steady in his preaching, in his service to Srila Prabhupada, a very, very exemplary devotee. It's a great loss for the world to have such an elevated Vaishnava as Aprakrita leave so suddenly. But he left on Srila Prabhupada's appearance day, which is also very significant. This is a very special, auspicious day to leave the body, considering the sacred appearance day of His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupāda, our dear spiritual master. I mean, up to about 3 days ago, Aprakrita was corresponding with me in French about his impression of that new place, about his adjustment to that new place. And he wrote certain things in French, which I forwarded to Venkatapati Prabhu, basically expressing that he felt that the time was coming near, that his time was basically finishing. I don't know if we can reproduce those on the screen, Venkatapati Prabhu. If we can, that would be wonderful.
Okay, I'll try.
Okay. Now, these statements from Aprakrita were done in French, and Venkatapati Prabhu, through his skill, managed to some way or other translate them into English. Dr. Ron in Sacramento. So how was Prabhu's body? I believe he was 76 or 78 years old. He did have some issue with some cancer. For a lot of people, prostate is a big issue, as Vishwakarma Prabhu very well knows. Okay, so this is a message on April 10th, 2011, and this is his old email address. Okay, let me translate this in English here. He says, I spoke with you yesterday by telephone, and I'm undergoing very difficult moments. He says, something happened to me a few days ago that really, verily affected me. When I woke up, I had a big headache and some throat problem. And the headache was very, very strong. I rarely have headaches. And whenever I went to the washroom, I had great difficulty of walking. Now, bear in mind, this is in 2011, quite some time back. My legs were folding, and I believe that I was falling on the ground. I feel that I was in the process of losing my capacities. So that feeling resembled death. This has passed, but since that time, I have been in anxiety and some fear. I think of the agony, and various thoughts, negative thoughts, cross my mind. I don't know if I am alone with this agony or if there is somebody else that can help me in my last moments. I will be 64 this summer. This was quite some time back, mind you, but he's expressing what is going on. I am no longer young, and death is approaching me each day. This is a reality that is not very pleasing at confronting. Finally, a man of 75 years old in my environment has recently died of a cardiac arrest in his dream, in his sleep. This can happen to everyone. That is troubling. But in this present time in my mind, I am remembering numerous instructions of Srila Prabhupada. The most important is to be sure to chant the Mahamantra, and this will make us happy in whatever situation. He is the true refuge, and this is the person to free us from all anxieties. We have to verily hurry to discover what Srila Prabhupada has come to teach us. This is a gift which is unparalleled. But we have to unwrap the gift. The best thing to do is to verily discover the happiness of the glorification of the names of Krishna. There is no other way, there is no other way, there is no other way. We are in a bad situation. At the same time, we have the solution. We have to put in practice and truly discover what is Krishna consciousness as soon, as rapidly as possible. These are a few thoughts that I wanted to share with you, with the hope that you can help me discover the true happiness of Krishna consciousness. Aprakrita Das, special for book distributors. So this is, this was part of his intimate moment quite some time back. Aprakrita would sometimes have amazing realizations as part of his very strict sadhana and very deep contemplation on Srila Prabhupada and preaching. He was always thinking of some kind of preach. And whenever I would speak to him in French, he would express to me his ideas of how to preach this way, how to preach that way, how to preach to people in Switzerland, how to preach to people in France, how to preach to people in Holland, because in Europe, there are many people that speak French. And he was quite active in Quebec. But he was always thinking of new ways and means to distribute books, to expand his newsletters, to bring people to Krishna. He also developed a series of small YouTube little videos, cooking, explaining people how to make chapatis, how to make puris, how to make halva, how to make sweet rice, how to make certain types of vegetables. He was actually a very good cook. He had these beautiful Gornitai deities, very, very steady, steady like a rock. And he would express these feelings every time we taught. So this is a very big shock that he departed so suddenly. Do we have anything else to display, Venkat Prabhu, about Aprakrita's correspondence or anything?
There was a post that he wrote about himself. We can read that if you like.
Sure.
Okay.
Hare Krishna. A post from Aprakrita Prabhu's website about himself, translated from French. Who is Aprakrita Das? Hare Krishna. On a few occasions, subscribers to the Daily News have asked various questions about me. It is not the custom of devotee to talk about himself, but to inform you, here is some information about me. I am a disciple of Srila Prabhupada, the founder of the Hare Krishna movement since 1966, actually. I joined this movement with my wife, and we had a child, a nice girl, who in turn had 4 children. So I am a grandfather several times. Today, at the age of 69, 2016, and living alone, I devote myself more to spiritual life. My day begins very early in the morning, and every day I recite a minimum of 16 rounds of japa, recommended by my spiritual master, Srila Prabhupada, founder of the Krishna Consciousness movement. Of course, I also follow the 4 basic principles, namely no meat consumption, no intoxicants, no sex, and finally, no gambling. By following these principles and reciting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, the material illusion gradually reduces its hold on us. It is therefore possible to expand one's consciousness to finally attain pure love of God. Not so easy, because Maya or illusion would like to keep us all under its control. We must therefore persevere despite the many temptations. Also, as you all know, I am the one who prepares and sends out the daily news every day. So this occupies a large part of my thoughts. I have to read Srila Prabhupada's books and also listen to some of his lectures daily in order to keep the philosophy of Krishna consciousness continually present in my mind. Since 1976, I left the movement for a while to come back in 1999. Since that time, I have devoted myself to preaching. I love what I do. I would not change places with anyone, not even with the richest materialist. My standard of living is reduced to a minimum so as to not take up too much time for my personal maintenance. My life is dedicated to helping others progress spiritually and gradually discover the happiness that we all seek. Srila Prabhupada left the village of Vrindavan, India at the age of 69 to come and help people all over the world discover happiness. He did it for the pleasure of his spiritual master. In turn, I seek to please Srila Prabhupada. Of course, I am far from having a desire as intense as he does. The only merit I can have is to want to try to please him a little. Srila Prabhupada is the greatest of spiritual masters, and I feel great joy in making him known to all, and also in accepting him as their spiritual master. Even if he's no longer physically present with us, his presence is manifest in his instructions. Srila Prabhupada said that we must let the spiritual master into our hearts. He himself never felt the separation from his guru, even though the guru had left the planet long ago. The relationship with the spiritual master is not a material relationship. It can progress even if he's no longer present in this world. Even a newcomer to Krishna consciousness can accept Srila Prabhupada into his heart and thus become his disciple. It is a matter of letting him into his heart, and it is not a matter of physical presence. Srila Prabhupada met his spiritual master only a few times and did so much for him, and that was without even seeing him regularly. The same is possible for all of us. Just let him into your heart. I have several preaching projects in my mind. Sometimes some come true, and sometimes others do not. In all this, one must learn that Krishna is in control of everything. It is said in one of the verses of the Shikshastaka, which summarizes the philosophy left by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, complete is his freedom to act as he pleases in all circumstances. No matter the results, one must always act with the aim of pleasing Krishna. The purpose of devotional service is to purify ourselves to finally attain true devotional service, called in Sanskrit Bhakti Yoga, or loving and devoted service offered to Krishna. In my small apartment, I continually play Srila Prabhupada's CDs. In the evening, I end the day by reading a few verses from the Srimad Bhagavatam. Throughout the night, without interruption, I leave the compact disc of Srila Prabhupada reciting the Maha Mantra playing. When I wake up, the first sounds I hear are the vibrations of my spiritual master reciting the Maha Mantra. So from the first moments of the day, I remember that I am practicing the process of Bhakti Yoga. This helps me enormously. And after a good shower, I start again in this for the coming day, the preaching projects. Every day I answer emails from subscribers, people from France, Switzerland, Hungary, Quebec, make my life exciting. They're all a great source of joy for me. I'm very happy to be in contact with them. Not all of them write to me, but I know that even if many are silent, they appreciate the daily news, because many of these people have been receiving it for several years. Some of you helped me spread this spiritual message from another world. They do it in different ways, and all these ways are accepted by Sri Krishna because they please Srila Prabhupada. My desire is to encourage as many people as possible to do a little something for Krishna, because then these people will be recognized by him. In this endeavor, there is no loss or diminution, and a little advancement on this path can protect one from the most dangerous type of fear. Bhagavad Gita 2:40. Whatever we do for Krishna will never be forgotten by him. Everything is recorded in our spiritual bank account. Also in the Gita, verses 4:11, all of them, as they surrender unto me, I reward accordingly. It is not in vain that we act for Krishna. Nothing goes unnoticed. I am happy to have shared with you these few thoughts, and I thank you very much for your good presence. You are a great source of inspiration for me. Your servant, Aprakrita Das. Hare Krishna. So we can proceed with. Go ahead, Prabhu. Go ahead.
I wanted to mention to all of us here at the group that Aprakrita was one of the most diligent people to attend the Prabhupada Disciples Association, Hare Krishna Society classes. And he had tremendous appreciation for all of our work in trying to protect Prabhupada's legacy through these efforts that we're making. So a lot of people, they criticize us on many levels. This goes on in life no matter what. We understand that. But these words that Aprakrita has spoken in these letters that have been spoken this evening reveal this person as truly a pure soul in the service of Srila Prabhupada. Anyone who hears them carefully can understand the depth of his realizations and the depth of his sincerity in serving Srila Prabhupada and his disciples. You know, recently Yaśodā-nandana Prabhu, he sent me some cards to promote the Hamilton Hare Krishna Center, some bookmarks. And I have them treasured now at my ashram. He sent me cases of Bhagavad Gitas that he had received, softbound books. No charge, just wanted to help me in any way that he could and express his appreciation for our time together back in the 70s. So it's beyond words. Let's open the discussion to others to speak.
Hare Krishna.
Let's open the discussion from the panel and other people can speak. Can you look at the list, Brother Rita? I can't see it on the phone as I'm on the highway. But could you possibly check the list of guests and see if someone would like to speak?
Would anyone like to speak some few words in appreciation of Aprakrita Prabhu? Okay, we could go ahead with reading a few our verses from the Chaitanya Charitamrita.